A hearty welcome to you and thank you for joining us here on TV47 Prime. My name is Debarl Inea and on the Sign Language Desk is Rhoda Nyumai. Today we shall be focusing much later in the course of the program on what has been happening today in Parliament. In fact, the session is still on and some of the legislators that will be joining us in this conversation later in the program are still in Parliament. We shall be joined by Honorable Makali Mulu, who is a member of Parliament, Kitui Central. We shall be joined as well by Honorable Peter Kaluma, who is the Member of Parliament of Homa Bay Town. And we shall be joined by Senator Danson Mungatana, the Senator of Tana River. Also, we were expecting to be joined by Richard Onyonka, but right now he's just given me information that he will not make it for the conversation. This is bound to be a very intense conversation looking at a raft of issues, of course, focusing on the finance bill, which is the center of discussion and has sparked a lot of debate, and also what is happening within ODM. Right now that we know the party leader of ODM has withdrawn Senator Sifuna from the Senator Energy Committee. We shall be looking at that much later in the course of the program. But for now, the stories of the day. We begin with what was happening at the All Saints Cathedral, where the attacks at the church has reignited the burning question of who owns the goons. Bunge la Mwananchi leader now alleges that some of their own members were among the attackers, pointing fingers at prominent politicians in Nairobi. Faith Wangare starts us off.
The recent attack at the All Saints Cathedral has amplified the question, whose goons are they? A Bunge la Mwananchi member spoke to TV47, alleging that some of the members of the forum were among the attackers.
It has come to my attention, clearly as a leader of Bunge la Mwananchi, that our own members were used, not just as goons. Part of the team that were being trained in there carried a number of our members.
The leader stated that members of the Bunge la Mwananchi who had attended the forum for discussions of the national budget were shocked to find themselves being attacked by their colleagues from Bunge la Mwananchi. From the viral CCTV footages, members could easily identify their colleagues even with the caps on.
They realized in trying to escape that the people that were attacking them were actually part of our own membership. One clearly that I saw even before I was told about this story is a member of Bunge la Mwananchi, but he goes to several bunges. Sometimes he comes to Jivanji, sometimes he goes to Kibra, sometimes he goes to Jacaranda, sometimes he goes to John Saga. And he's the gentleman. If you remember how this thing all happened, you remember they first came in, then they went, and then they came. There was this guy who was having coffee.
And if these are the alleged goons, who owns them? He accuses at least from the county politicians of funding the goons, two of seeking a county top leadership, while one is leading a national movement.
A lot of people that infiltrates Bunge la Mwananchi programs are actually aligned to the operatives at the City Hall.
I have never and will never sponsor violence of any kind. My entire political life has been anchored on siasa safi.
We ask that everyone, regardless of their position, must respect places of worship and that the government must put in sufficient effort to ensure that places of worship like All Saints Cathedral are protected from political goonism.
The Bunge la Mwananchi leader pointed a finger at the government, civil rights groups and the police.
Oftentimes, when the civil society organizations want to have their functions, whether for good reason or for bad reason, they have always come to us. We help recruit for them participants. But at the same time, we've also noticed when sometimes people are in trouble, like politicians, and even some civil society organizations, some of their demonstrations, they also need rowdy men. And oftentimes, they have fallen back to to us.
The leader says the young people who make the largest part of the Bunge la Mwananchi often fall prey because most are unemployed.
What they pay you is even meager, and they take advantage of you. But we also understand in these hard economic times, somebody ametafuta kazi na hajapata. So what happens at the end of the day? When you show up and telling them you can make some 200 or 500 at the end of the day, they will fall for that. But it is pathetic. It is unfortunate that that happens. Inspector
General Douglas Kanja has since revealed that an immediate crackdown on criminal goons is underway.
If there is anyone who is going to be mentioned in the course of that investigation, then we will go to them. Nobody will be left free as long as you are involved in that activity.
Faith Wangari, TV47.
And still on Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja, he has declared an all-out war on criminal gangs and hired goons, warning that every individual involved in recent attacks or violence will be personally held accountable. The warning comes as detectives intensify investigations into the dramatic invasion of Nairobi's All Saints Cathedral, where a post-budget forum was violently disrupted by suspected hired goons. 5 suspects have so far been arrested as police widen their probe to uncover those behind the attacks. Our reporter Mike Kwagongo has more.
What began as a post-budget civil society forum inside All Saints Cathedral has now evolved into a major criminal investigation. Police says armed gangs stormed the church compound in 2 separate waves on June 12th, disrupting the meeting, intimidating participants and allegedly stealing personal belongings before officers restored order. CCTV footage and forensic analysis have since become central to the investigation.
Juzi, kuna wale walienda kwa kanisa pale, si ni kweli? Saa hizi tumeshika 5. Waine tayari wako kwa polisi, tumepewa siku 10 ya kuendelea na uchunguzi. Moja ako nje na tumechukua leo warrant of arrest, tunataka. Na wengine you are going to see in the coming days, we are going to arrest minimum.
Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja now says 5 suspects linked to the incidents have been arrested. 4 are currently in custody after a Nairobi court granted detectives 10 days to complete investigations, while police are pursuing another suspect who failed to appear in court after being released on bond.
We are also hunting down the rest because we know a number of them, and we're also appealing to the community to help us in identifying the others.
Kanja has warned that the crackdown will not stop with those captured on camera. He says leaders, financiers and organizers found sponsoring criminal gangs will also face prosecution.
Criminals are dealt with individually, as individual criminals, not as group of criminals. No. So all criminals must stand on their own before a court of law and answer to their criminal activities.
The respondent's place of abode.
The investigations took a new turn after a 4th suspect linked to the All Saints Cathedral invasion was arraigned at the Kibra Law Courts. Detectives says the arrest is part of a wider operation targeting individuals suspected of participating into the violent disruption of the church-based forum.
And Your Honor, investigators have reasonable grounds to believe that if the respondent is released at this stage, may enable communication, coordination, concealment, destruction of evidence, and compromise the ongoing investigations, Your Honor.
The incident has also triggered sharp political reactions. Former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i warned that such incidents could damage Kenya's investment climate, saying persistent political violence and insecurity risk undermining investor confidence in the country.
Wakora wanatembea na polisi kudhulumu watu wetu. Mambo kama haya saa nyingine unaweza kupoteza imani kwa nchi yako na imani kwa maisha.
As investigations continue, the National Police Service says it is accelerating plans to roll out fully digitized and automated police services, a move aimed at strengthening crime detection and improving accountability. With IG Kanja's declaration that all those involved will be brought to book, all eyes now shifts to whether the investigation will be cleared as the country heads to the next year's general election. Mike Kagwongo, TV47, from Kiambu constituency, Kiambu County.
Thank you, Mike. In the meantime, National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi has dismissed reports circulating in section of the media that the planned expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, JKIA, could cost about $2.9 billion. The CS further noted that the figures being published are inaccurate and that the project cost is aware of is significantly lower. LSK has poked holes in the project, which has been awarded to China Communications Construction Company. Stanley Nyarengita has more.
We'll give a commitment to any.
The Senate has called on the National Treasury to provide full public disclosure of the contract terms and procurement process for the proposed expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi clarified that the project will cost approximately 155 billion Kenyan shillings, equivalent to $1.2 billion and not 375 billion Kenyan shillings, as previously reported.
And I wanted just the CS to either come to the House and tell us, is he willing to give us the data, the information, and the agreements which have been signed, how much in real value this airport is going to cost, who are the beneficiaries of this airport construction, and what are the details.
If you want the information about that, either my counterparts at the transport can provide that information, or the government, even through me, can provide that information. But this is one of the candidates for the National Infrastructure Fund. And I will tell you that there will be no sovereign debt as of now that would be put here.
The project, which will be executed by China Communications Construction Company, aims to expand JKIA's capacity and enhance passenger experience. This comes even as the president of the Law Society of Kenya said the legal body is seeking clarity on whether the current arrangement is linked to previous court disputes involving the now cancelled Adani concession deal.
Senators.
Mbadi, while appearing before the Senate, also told lawmakers that Kenya's economy continues to demonstrate resilience despite external risks, including the ongoing conflicts in the Middle East.
As a matter of fact, there was a time this country was collecting 18% of its GDP as revenue. Today, we are collecting just well over 14.5%, around 14.5% of GDP as ordinary revenue. And that is even below the two. We have a feeling we can collect up to 20 or 22% of GDP.
A heated debate was witnessed during deliberations on the Finance Bill 2026, with opposition members of Parliament insisting that the bill is punitive and that most clauses will burden Kenyans with additional taxes. They also accused the House leadership of rushing the debate on the bill, which is an essential stage, vowing to shoot it down. However, the National Assembly Majority Leader, Kimani Ichung'wah, and Finance Committee Chairperson Kimani Kuria defended the bill, stating that it does not introduce any new taxation measures. Our parliamentary reporter Elizabeth Mutuku reports.
Sharp disagreements were witnessed between pro-government members of Parliament and their opposition counterparts over the Finance Bill 2026, with both sides addressing media separately.
This bill, National Assembly Bill number 26 of 2026.
The Kenya Kwanza House leadership strongly defended the bill, dismissing claims that it contains punitive taxes targeting Kenyans. They insisted that there will be no new taxes, saying the proposals are a result of public participation, particularly on second-hand clothing known as mitumba, among other key clauses. Finance Committee Chairperson Kimani Kuria and Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah led the defense of Finance Bill.
We want to guarantee the country that there is no any increased taxation on rental income. What is happening what is happening now, as currently in the law, any tenant whose landlord is a non-resident person is required to withholding tax and remit to KRA. Therefore, we want to call even on those who call themselves learned. Friends, those of us who know better, please let us not use social media to propagate lies, to incite Kenyans.
However, opposition lawmakers held a separate media briefing alleging the bill contains hidden taxes on mitumba clothing and mobile phones. They vowed to introduce amendments to the bill. This is as Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi said lawmakers should be allowed to express their opinions freely.
We are going to propose what the president said, that people earning less than 30,000 should not be paying tax. We are going to propose it. They will oppose it, you will all be witnesses. We are going to propose, because they say there's no one who pays tax on mitumba, we are going to propose that there is no tax at all that should be levied on anyone dealing with mitumba, and they will oppose.
So what we are saying is this: the bill, Finance Bill 2026, it is the most punitive bill and the worst than 2024. Kenyans must understand that.
Parents who are going to pay school fees as low as 200 shillings, they are going to be taxed. Young people who work overnight on digital platforms, their jobs is on digital platform, from now is going to be taxed. Mama mboga, if you go to pay, to buy mboga and pay, is going to be taxed. The president, by force, introduced e-citizen.
With this finance bill, Honorable Speaker, members can actually come up with innovative ideas on how to raise more revenue, on how to raise more Inea, so that there is actually no deficit. So the entire amount we are dealing with is actually 4.8 trillion Kenya shillings, Honorable Speaker. And it is important for the members who are near me that we also respect the views of all members.
The bill seeks to raise an additional 98.9 billion shillings through a combination of tax administration reforms, expanded compliance measures, and targeted changes to existing taxes. The Finance Committee says the bill does not introduce a new tax rate on rental income. Instead, it creates a simplified framework requiring non-resident landlords earning income from Kenyan property to register with Kenya Revenue Authority and file monthly returns. The baton now shifts to the Committee of the Whole House, where members from both government and opposition are expected to propose amendments on the Finance Bill 2026. Elizabeth Mutuko, TV47, Parliament Buildings, Nairobi.
Onto a sad story now, where an autopsy conducted on a 17-year-old Sylvester Muigai, who died during the anti-Ebola protest in Nyanyuki, has confirmed that the Form 3 student was shot in the head. The findings are intensifying calls for Sylvester's family for justice and answers over the circumstances surrounding the death of their son, whom they maintain posed no threat during the demonstrations. Sheila Chelangat has more.
Grief and a somber mood hung heavy here as the family of 17-year-old Sylvester Muigai, allegedly shot during the anti-Ebola protest in Liki, Nanyuki, awaited the results of the autopsy being conducted that took nearly 2 hours.
Hata kutoka hiyo siku sifanyi kazi, sikuli, na huyo alimdunga ni mtu amezaa na watoto wa mimi. Nataka haki, si mawe imetolewa, na ndio nimesimama hapa, nilikuwa nataka kuongojea hiyo mawe ilikuwa kwa mtoto wangu.
Autopsy confirming that Sylvester died from a gunshot wound to the head,
with an entrance on the left, just above the left eye, and the bullet went in through the head, inside the head, and lodged somewhere at the right back of the head.
According to Sylvester's mother, her son posed no threat to anyone. She says he had merely joined other residents who were protesting over concerns surrounding the proposed Ebola quarantine facility.
Nisomecha watoto wangu wakule, mtu mwingine anakuja tu anachuti, angemchapa ama amfunja mguu, nifurutage mtoto wangu na uruchia. Mimi nataka haki ya mtoto wangu, mimi nataka haki.
Sylvester, who was a Form 3 student at Thingutu, View Secondary School is allegedly one of 3 protesters who died during the demonstrations, prompting calls for the identification and interdiction of the officer involved.
Some of the officers who had balaclavas and masks, they were brandishing a pistol. So it is our firm belief that it is an officer from the unit in the National Police Service.
Who is going to defend us? Who is going to defend Kenyans? If you see 17-year-olds being shot by the police when they are peacefully protesting.
The bullet recovered during the autopsy has been handed over to investigators from the Independent Policing Oversight Authority for forensic analysis as investigations into the shooting continue. Sheila Chelangat for TV47.
In one of the victims of the Otumishi fire tragedy, Neema Wairimo has been buried in Nairobi County. 2 others were buried yesterday in Turkana and Baringo. Elizabeth Atieno has more.
They marched with strength despite being weighed down by grief and sorrow as they accompanied Neema Wairimo on the final leg of her journey. The Form 4 student was among those who lost their lives in the Utumishi girls' fire tragedy. When the casket was presented before the mourners, many could not hold back their tears, with some left dumbfounded by the tragedy. Tributes were read, reflecting both deep love and profound sorrow felt by family, friends, and the community.
I never imagined a day would come when I would have to live without you. You left us with so much pain, sorrow, and many unanswered questions.
Your memories will live forever in our hearts. We will always remember your faith.
Our beloved daughter, we miss you every single day. And our hearts are filled with both love and pain whenever we think about you. We thank you for the beautiful moments and precious memories we shared with you.
From children to the youth and even the elderly, the pain of losing a young life was palpable. Mourners called for greater care, protection, and responsibility in learning institutions to ensure the safety of students.
I remember the first time I met you in Form 1. You were young, cheerful, and always carried a smile. That could brighten even the darkest day.
We were a close group of our friends. Neema, Diana, Tabitha, and I. Together, we shared countless memories, laughter, and dreams for the future. Among those dreams was our shared love for robotics.
Learning institutions have been urged to strengthen emergency preparedness measures and enhance student safety to help prevent similar tragedies in the future. Elizabeth Atieno, TV47, Nairobi.
Deputy Party leader of the Jubilee Party, Fred Matiang'i, has criticized the Kenya Kwanza government over what he described as a rise in insecurity across the country. Speaking during the funeral of Richard Gishini Mbugua in Wagudu village, Kiambu County, Matiang'i said reports from the European Union indicate that security situation in the country needs urgent attention. He also claimed that some investors are beginning to shift to other countries due to fears of insecurity, a situation he said could lead to increased unemployment. Meanwhile, Jubilee Party Secretary for Coordination, Jeremiah Kioni, criticized the recent national budget, saying it failed to address the high cost of living faced by Kenyans.
I commissioned a study and a report on the rate of insecurity in most of our towns in Kenya. Some of those who commissioned the study are people who intend to invest in our country. The reason why they were doing that is they wanted to collect data to understand whether we are degenerating to a very insecure environment that will not be conducive for investment. I have seen that report, and it doesn't look good for the country, because it basically confirms what we all know, that the rate of crime is going through the roof and it is at an unprecedented level. Most of it done and never followed comprehensively. Because you see, how is it? Just ask yourself a very basic question. All Saints Cathedral is in the capital city of our country. How can people beat up thugs, criminals?
Leaders from the Media Council of Kenya have called on media houses to remain united and collectively condemn acts of violence against journalists, especially at a time when there has been an increase in attacks by goons and gangs allegedly being used for political purposes. Speaking in Nakuru County during a media sector roundtable on election coverage, the leader also urged media owners to guarantee the safety and security of journalists, particularly while they are in the field. The Chief Executive Officer of the Media Council of Kenya, David Omoyo, also stated that the media is adequately prepared for the upcoming general election.
Najua kipindi ni kigumu na tunapoingia kwenye uchaguzi huenda hali ikawa si hali, lakini tutazidi kuweka jitihada zetu kuona kwamba mwanahabari analindwa, lakini pia natoa changamoto kwa vyombo vya habari vile vile. Wao pia wajukumike. Wasisubiri tu mashirika ya wanahabari yazungumze. Wakati ambapo mwanahabari anadhulumiwa au ananyanyaswa au haki zake zinakiukwa, ni vizuri tuzungumze sote kwa sauti moja.
What we need is reminders really, and jog of the minds, reflections, comparative studies and all that. So I think that the media is ready and the other actors in the ecosystem are ready. You know, like we have an electoral body whose work is to organize elections. We have the media whose work is to report events. So media is ready. What we do is that because it's a special moment in the history of a country, we enhance the capacity for the media so that they can do it better.
All right, time for a short break. But before we do that, let's see what we have in tomorrow's Star, which is holding this particular Splash MP's tax battle sets stage for Gen Z Memorial. That story is on page 4 and 5 of tomorrow's publication, looking at the Flagger anniversary on June 25th, which is Thursday next week. And you can see how also they were holding press conference outside Parliament. There are sharp divisions. Just as we ran the story by you, we have Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah does not seem to mince his words, while Finance Committee Chairperson Kimani Kuria stands in the flanks in Nairobi yesterday. Also, below we can see a section of National Assembly members opposed to the Finance 2026 bill led by Kajiado North MP Onesimus Gogoyo, expressing their strong views against the bill. Also on the sidebar, we have ODM Chief Oburu draws first blood in Sifuna's Senate power struggle. It says, just to read an excerpt of it, embattled ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna has been removed from the Senate Energy Committee in a move that is likely to intensify speculation over widening divisions within ODM. The Nairobi senator was replaced by Homa Bay Senator Moses Kajwang in changes announced on Wednesday. You can follow the rest of the story on page 8 of the publication. On the teaser on top there, how Kylian Mbappe rose to become top goal scorer in France. This story is on page 30 of the publication. And also, Ruto's G7 diplomacy cements Kenya's place at table of global affairs. This story is tucked away on page 6 of the publication. I want to take a short break right now. I want to circle back. Of course, we shall continue with the news. And also, just to tease up, our guest will be here momentarily to have an interview on the finance bill, of course, which has been the center of the debate in Parliament, where they are right now, as I eagerly await them to join us much, much later. Right, we'll take a short break. Don't go away.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Nikikunyuma.
Oh my God. You left me.
Nitumie ni live. Uko nje kuna Wi-Fi.
Why? Hi-Fi?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
have no idea. The cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine. Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas. No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Booyah! We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that.
Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat. It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learned the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system. Ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
I just want to be in the zone.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
Link Up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
I just want to be in the zone.
Stay fresh, stay safe,
stay linked up.
My father used to tell me that our hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Booyah! We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Welcome back. As political temperatures continue to intensify across the country, politicians are increasingly positioning themselves ahead of the 2027 general election. The agenda of strengthening the national economy and creating employment opportunities continue to dominate political gatherings. Today, Tuesday, of course, that is on Tuesday, Roots Party leader Professor George Wajakoya held a peaceful procession through Nairobi's Central Business District where he promoted his policies to traders and city residents.
Naona watu kama Pasaris Waluke wameanza kuyomba kule bungeni, wanasema ati bangi yahalalishwe. Na wenyewe ndio walikuwa wanapinga hii mrengo wangu huu. Mimi nataka niwaelezee na niwaulize swali. Ukienda kupanda mahindi, unahitaji cheti chochote kutoka kwa serikali? Ukienda kuvua samaki, do you require permission? Na mbona bangi zipandwe, watu wavune hiyo bangi? Mimi nikiwa rais wa nchi hii, ningependa kuelezea kwamba Kenya itakuwa duty free. duty free, hakuna kulipa taxes.
Mombasa County has become the focal point of global ocean conservation efforts as thousands of delegates from governments, international organizations, scientists, civil societies, groups and the private sector convene for the 11th Our Ocean Conference. The three-day summit, the first to be held on African soil, is focused on advancing action on marine conservation, the blue economy, climate change and the fight against illegal fishing. Our reporter Quinto Wafula reports.
The conference, held under the theme Our Ocean, Our Heritage, Our Future, has drawn global attention to Africa's role in shaping the future of ocean governance and the sustainable use of marine resources.
We can't have a healthy planet unless you have a healthy ocean.
We have an obligation as the current generation to return the ocean to our children cleaner, richer, and more resilient than we found it.
But I hope that our grandchildren and our great-grandchildren will be able to experience what a number of us were able to experience.
Leaders participating in the summit have emphasized the need to close the gap between pledges and implementation, warning that despite billions of dollars in global ocean commitments, only a small fraction in the world's ocean is effectively protected.
The challenge before us is not a lack of knowledge. We know exactly what is happening. The challenge is whether political will can finally catch up with the science.
Accelerate implementation of the High Seas Biodiversity Agreement. Strengthen regional fisheries management and action against IUU fishing.
Kenya, as the host of conference, is also using the platform to showcase its commitment and steps it has taken towards improving the blue economy, enhancing marine conservation, and promoting sustainable livelihoods for coastal communities, while positioning Africa as a leading voice in global ocean affairs.
A long journey that this country has traveled in terms of focusing our attention as we look towards contributing to a healthier and safer environment.
Kenya stands ready to work with all partners in advancing shared vision for healthy oceans, resilient communities, and sustainable prosperity.
And also here in Kenya, we believe that there lies a huge opportunity for us to come together and put the oceans where they belong.
It's been 12 short years, right?
As the health of the world's ocean remains hanging on the balance, the message from Mombasa is clear. The time for commitment is past, and it is now time for delivery. Quinto Wafula, TV47, at the 11th Our Ocean Conference in Mombasa.
Many thanks indeed, Quinto. We cross over now to Uganda, where a storm of condemnation is sweeping across the country following the alleged abduction and detention of Uganda's opposition lawyer and former Kampala Lord Mayor, Erias Lukwago. The controversy deepened further after Uganda's Chief of Defense Forces, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, shared images and comments on his official X account appearing to mock Lukwago while claiming responsibility for his capture. African civil society organizations are now condemning the act and calling for the immediate release of Lukwago. Our very own Michelle Mwangi has more.
This video, recorded in Uganda on the morning of June 15, 2026, appears to show Counsel Erias Lukwago being allegedly seized at his home in Kampala, moments after armed military officers scaled his perimeter wall. The events unfolded dramatically as the lawyer, who is one of the lead counsel representing opposition veteran Dr. Kiza Besigye in an ongoing legal battle against the Ugandan government, was taken to an unknown location. Hours later, the controversy escalated further when President Yoweri Museveni's son and the Chief of Defense Forces, General Muhoozi, began posting photographs and comments about Lukwago on his official X account. In one of the posts, General Muhoozi wrote, and I quote, "I have captured a fool and taken him to the basement." In another post, he stated, "This idiot is still my prisoner. Who doubts me?" The incident triggered strong reactions from human rights activists who condemned what they described as the enforced disappearance of Council Elias Lukwago. The activists argued that Lukwago had not been lawfully arrested, saying no arrest warrant had been produced and no official place of detention had been disclosed.
These acts offend the supreme law of Uganda. The abduction of Council Lukwago violates Article 23, which protects personal liberty, including the right to be told the grounds of arrest and to be produced in court within 48 hours.
And that President Yoweri Museveni, as head of state and commander-in-chief, immediately restrain his son Muhoozi Kainerugaba and end the impunity that has enabled him to act as a rogue military actor, publicly associate himself with unlawful detention.
As pressure mounts, civil society organizations across Africa are demanding the immediate disclosure of Lukwago's whereabouts, access to legal representation, and full respect for due process. Michelle Mwangi, TV47, Nairobi.
Back home, the fight against corruption in Africa has taken center stage in Nairobi, where anti-corruption chiefs and officials from across the continent gathered for the 8th Annual General Assembly of African Anti-Corruption Authorities. Speakers highlighted that no single institution or country can successfully combat corruption alone, calling for a united continental approach to safeguard Africa's future generations from the devastating effects of graft.
As corruption schemes become increasingly sophisticated and cross-border in nature, delegates attending the Continental Gathering say Africa's response must evolve just as rapidly. Speakers at the forum noted that corruption continues to undermine economic growth, weaken institutions, and deprive citizens of resources meant for development.
These are resources that should be financing schools, hospitals, roads, water systems, energy infrastructure, and opportunities for our young people.
Delegates observed that while anti-corruption agencies across the continent have made significant strides over the years, emerging technologies and digital platforms have introduced new challenges that require innovative solutions.
We must together innovate using new technology.
Calls were made for stronger frameworks on asset tracing, recovery and repatriation of stolen wealth, as well as enhanced mechanisms to combat transnational bribery and digital corruption. Speakers further stressed that anti-corruption institutions must strengthen their technical capacities to keep pace with the rapidly evolving technological environment.
As corruption schemes become increasingly sophisticated and transnational, our response must be equally dynamic, innovative and collaborative.
A major highlight of the gathering was the launch of the African Anti-Corruption Studies and Research Center. Delegates described the initiative as a significant step towards evidence-based policymaking, research, capacity building and institutional reforms across the continent.
What we have achieved for the past years was not individual efforts, but it was as a result of collective cooperation.
As Africa grapples with increasingly complex corruption networks, delegates meeting in Nairobi say stronger institutions, technological innovation and cross-border collaboration remain the continent's best hope in winning the fight against graft.
Cross-border traders in Busia have been urged to shun smuggling and instead use the one-stop border post to protect consumers. During a KEBS sensitization forum in Busia town, Quality Assurance Officer Bernard Sindani and Martin Makoha warned that smuggled goods such as aflatoxin, contaminated maize, pose severe health risks, including cancer. Small-scale traders chairperson David Irulu blamed non-compliance on lack of information, while KEBS officials committed to tightening border surveillance and cracking down on illegal trade.
The locally manufactured products, the one that importing, for example, the maize, let them have those maize being tested to make sure that all these elements that are harmful, the pathogens, the aflatoxin, they are being tested so that the only raw materials that complies with the standard, they are the ones that now form the basis of their manufacturing. And that one will help them to manufacture products that they are safe for human consumption.
Who have got families in Kenya and in Uganda. So he has grown up knowing that doing smuggling is a way of life. So now what you are doing is that to sensitize to know that it is illegal. Let them do a genuine a trade along the border.
Time for business now. Kenya has sufficient petroleum stocks to meet national demand for more than a month. With additional fuel cargoes already en route, Petroleum Principal Secretary Kelo Harsama has said. During a tour of key petroleum facilities in the Coast region, Harsama highlighted the country's robust fuel infrastructure and reaffirmed government's plan to expand storage capacity, strengthen supply chains, and support investments in petroleum and LPG infrastructure to enhance energy security and clean energy access.
We have enough supply of fuel lasting over 1 month, and we'll still have several vessels arriving to offload the fuel cargo to sufficiently satisfy the demand for Kenyans. Therefore, we are far ahead of many countries in this region as far as regulation and supply of fuel is concerned. In fact, Kenyans should find themselves very lucky in East and Southern Africa region.
Now, Kenya is banking on an $11.4 billion agricultural transformation plan to modernize farming, attract investment, and create 2.48 million new and upgraded jobs by 2030. The Kenya Agri-Connect Compact will leverage $3.8 billion in public funding to mobilize $7.6 billion in private capital, while accelerating digitalization, value addition, and market reforms. The strategy also targets a 50% reduction in food imports and 60% increase in high-value agricultural exports.
This program is activity-driven. It's activity-driven. It's value chain-driven. In this sense, the departure point of the Agri-Compact is agricultural job creation. That's the departure point. As we talk about food sustainability, as we talk about food security, food independence, it is through the creation of these jobs that we end up being food independent, because there's a big difference between all the things that we talk about and food independence. So where then will these jobs come from, and how then do we interlink the food subsistence and food security and food systems development and job creation?
Financial institutions have partnered to launch the Zinduka Graduate Enterprise Program, an initiative designed to help students access affordable accommodation and startup capital. The program, backed by Akon Holdings, Absa Bank Kenya, and Cooperative Bank Group, aims to support between 5,000 and 10,000 new enterprises annually through student housing finance, entrepreneurship training, and business loans of up to 500,000 shillings. The initiative seeks to strengthen youth entrepreneurship, financial inclusion, and job creation across the country.
One aspect of it is the providing financing, helping students build a credit score so that by the time they graduate and by the time they are ready to either start their own enterprise or do something else, they already have the financial training and they also have the financial score that allows financial institutions, not just ourselves, to deal with them and to provide that support. So the more students we can get through this program, the better.
So the idea with this program is that these young people will get entrepreneurship training, they'll get support between the partners that we have, so that by the time they graduate, they can be able to start a business. But not only that, they'll also be able to access funding from the banks to pay mdogo for their student housing.
Equity Group has deepened its diversification strategy with an entry into the pharmaceutical sector, launching its first standalone community pharmacy as part of plans to establish a regional network of up to 1,000 outlets. The move positions the lender to tap into the growing healthcare market while expanding access to affordable medicines and preventative health services. The pharmacy venture complements Equity's existing healthcare footprint and reflects increasing private sector investment in Kenya's health value chain.
Against this backdrop, there is a compelling and urgent opportunity to reimagine the pharmacy landscape, unlocking its potential to deliver equitable, affordable, and high quality health care for all Kenyans. The strategic objective: to enhance access to high quality, affordable medication and integrated health care services through sustainable and scalable pharmacy network models. These initiatives aims to reduce the cost of medicine by between 50 and 80%, while significantly expanding access to safe and effective pharmaceutical care.
Britain has expanded its wealth management offering with the launch of trust services, targeting growing demand for structured wealth preservation and succession planning. The new solutions allow individuals and families to protect and transfer assets, including cash, property, investments, and businesses across generations. The move comes as unclaimed financial assets in Kenya exceed 105 billion shillings, 115, I should say, billion shillings, highlighting the need for stronger estate planning tools. Customers can establish a trust with contributions starting from 5,000 shillings. All right, time for sports, where Trans Nzoia County Secondary School football finals concluded today with a highly anticipated clash between St. Anthony Solidarity Boys School and St. Joseph Jobo National School. The finals were played in Zion Transcend Academy grounds in Cherangani constituency, where Solidarity Boys emerged victorious with a 1-0 win over Jobo National School. NASA Zero scored the decisive goal in the first half. Fans, players and team management expressed their joy after the hard-fought victory. The win secures Solidarity Boys a place in the upcoming regional championships set to be held in Narok County next month.
Miaka mbili tulihisi vibaya, tulilia, tubika, lakini mwaka ni furaha tu.
Mimi kama mwalimu mkuu wa shule ya upili ya St. Anthony's nina furaha sana. Kwa ni ushindi ambao tumeutafuta, kikombe ambacho tumekitafuta kwa muda mrefu sana tangu tukipoteze mwaka wa 2024.
Tunashukuru wachezaji wamecheza mzuri, tunaenda paka national na I hope kikombe itakuja Kitale. Vijana wangu wamefanya vyema sana, ikiwa kwamba ikizingatiwa kwamba Zero ni mwanafunzi wangu, anamfunza 4K, nampenda sana, nimefurahia bao lake, na saa hii safari ambayo tulenga ni Morogoro na sio kwingineko. Hawa watu walikuwa wametusumbua muda mwingi sana, na leo tumewaonyesha kwamba sisi ndio kusema. Tukusikia vizuri miaka 2 iliyopita, lakini sasa Mungu ameleta baraka tele, tunasikia raha sana.
Na pia mimi ningependa tu kushukuru juri ya mwaka huu. Kusema ukweli, wamefanya jambo la busara. Kwa sababu ya mwaka jana ilitupeleka huku na huku, lakini ya mwaka huu imesema kama games za Trans Nzoia zinaishia Trans Nzoia.
Indulge in the moment with every spoonful of Delamere Real Fruit Yogurt.
Yummy na flow kama maji, juu ni tamu kama sali. Ni juicy. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, usijali my bro, hebu kama nataka juicy juni.
Did you know you deserve to earn royalties every time your artistic work is played or communicated to the public? Join Pavrisk, the duly authorized CMO mandated to collect and distribute royalties. To register and update your works, visit our website on www.pavrisk.or.ke. For assistance, call us or WhatsApp on 0781 721 721 or 0732 721 721 or visit www.pavrisk.or.ke. Pavrisk, revitalizing royalty management. Celebrate with Kenya's favorite drink, now available at your nearest shop. Get yours today. Game on. Experience game, na Steam.
The 2026 National Sevens Circuit will run from July 25th to September 13th across 6 tournaments in Nakuru, Kisumu, Nairobi, Mombasa, Embu and Nairobi. The series will kick off with the historic Prince-Lo Sevens in Nakuru before moving to Kisumu, Nairobi, Mombasa and Embu, with the season concluding at the Christie Sevens in Nairobi. Defending champions KCB Rugby Club will be chasing a 6th overall National Sevens title, but they're expected to face, I should say, stiff competition from Strathmore Leos, Kabras Sugar, Menengai Oilers and Kenya Harlequin. Meanwhile, Kenya's rugby development pathway has received a major boost after a betting company unveiled a record 34.1 million shillings sponsorship package for the 2026 National Sevens Circuit. Their sponsorship will support tournament operations, host clubs, prize money, live streaming and fan engagement activities, further elevating the profile and reach of the country's premier rugby sevens competition. Lionel Messi further cemented his legendary status by becoming the most decorated player in FIFA World Cup history.
8:30 p.m.
Good morning. You have my rent? Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako. Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today. Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimeekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Nikikunyuma. Oh my God. He left me. Nitumie ni live.
Uko nje kuna Wi-Fi.
Why? High five?
Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
The
cucumbers are there specifically for my beauty routine.
Tamulini kero umeka kwa beauty product.
Na ameenda.
Tunafaa tukuwe na logo yetu. Like, si ni brand already.
We won't entertain divas.
No. I'm not dealing with a man child.
Amazing. Nishapenda hii energy.
Sundays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Saturday at 8:30 p.m.
My father used to tell me that a hotel is the home for travelers. I guess I forgot that. Recently, it's been more of a mirror of my own ambition. Ooh, yeah. We might fail. We will probably fail, but not for a lack of trying. So for the last time, and the first time, welcome to Connect In, the best experience in Eastern Central Africa and its environs.
Saturday at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m.
This is a very serious place.
I see that. Surely. Hey, Nyumba.
This is the place.
Just for a few days.
Rule number 2.
Kwani Google inajua maisha yangu wewe?
That's my seat.
It's a chair. It was hers.
You're new here?
Yes.
You learn the rhythm.
This place is run by structure. Structure.
It is a system, ni venye tu ni system haisikizi.
And what happens if something you haven't chosen enters your day?
I remove it.
That's not always going to be possible here.
Then you are going to have a problem.
Noted.
What are you planning? To escape from a resort?
This is not a resort, my friend. This is a storage.
Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47.
I just want to be in the zone.
Nairobi, where the hustle never sleeps and neither do the scammers.
On Link Up, we are talking about something that's affecting all of us. We are talking trust.
We're diving into the campus life.
I just want to be in the zone.
Stay fresh, stay safe,
stay linked up.
Break right now. Remember, we have our guests already here, and they are straining at the leash, of course, to have this conversation after a long day debating in Parliament regarding the finance bill. Also, we shall be looking at the state of the parties, that is UDA, ODM, and a raft of other issues as far as this current state of play of the country is concerned. The faces are here. Danson Mungatana, Dr. Danson Mungatana, Senator Tana River, Peter Kaluma, MP Homa Bay Town. Also, we have with us as well Dr. Makali Mulu, who is the Member of Parliament, Kitui Central, joining us. Richard Onyonka has expressed his regrets that he will not be joining us this evening. We continue, press with the conversation on the other side of a break. Don't go away.